So oftentimes people come up with, you drive down the road and you see 10x apartments, 10x living. You see books on how to 10x your life, 10x this, 10x that. Do you fall under that philosophy?
No, I don't. I don't. On one hand, yes, absolutely, but on most other hands, absolutely not. And here's why. Is I know it's you see it, the 10x 10x 10x. And I think, well, okay. Because you go, well, what is that? What is it exactly? What is it? What most people end up doing is having a vision board with Ferraris and all the stuff that they think that they should want. It's like this is what the world tells you that you should want. And so you put all these things on it. It's like a little kid when their Christmas list and they go, oh, what do you want for Christmas, Johnny? And you go, oh my God, I want all the things that are advertised, all the things that all the other little kids are wanting, because that's what we talk about. That's what we see, right? That's what's being pushed on. So if we don't change over time, we do the same thing. And then like people talk about vision boards, and I like vision boards and I don't like vision boards because they turn into those things. Like I had a vision board one time, and I had all these things on it, and like I love to travel. I love Southern Europe. I love Italy and I love the Mediterranean countries and Adriatic countries and Aegean and down in Greece. I love that area. I love to go there. And I thought, man, having a house there would be really cool. That's what I want. And so I put that on my vision board. I put a Porsche on there. I put, a variety of things on there. And and I had that on my wall. And you're supposed to look at that and whatever the magical formula is with vision boards. And one time, and I have a couch, a sofa, whatever you call them, in my office. And I was pulling that out one time to rearrange my office. I like to do that once. I'll just get a change of scenery. And I moved this couch, and I went, "Oh, there's my vision board." It had dust all over it. And I pulled it up and I looked at it and I thought, well, this is interesting because some of these things I have and some of these things I don't have. Like one of the things that was on there was that house on the Mediterranean. And I thought, why don't I have the house on the Mediterranean? I love going there. Why don't I have one? And I thought, well, I don't know. Just for fun, I took it off my vision board because it had a piece of tape on it. I pulled it off and I pulled some of the the that stuff that was stuck to off. I pulled it off and it felt like a relief. And I thought, well, that's strange. Why would I ever feel relief about pulling something that I dearly want off my vision board? And I thought, well, huh. And so I put it back on and I thought, and it was interesting because I looked at the things on there that I had done, and those are really deeply meaningful to me, really meaningful. And I thought, well, I pulled the vision or the Mediterranean home off. And again, it felt like a relief. It's like, I thought, wow, my instinct is telling me I really don't want one of those, and I thought, okay, well, what is it about these things on my vision board that I really, you know, the essence, like if you were to break down the ingredients of why you want a Porsche or why you want your kids to go to a different school or why you want a place on the Mediterranean. I go, okay, well, the kids, like, okay, I want them to be at some place that feels a little more safe. I'd rather them be their natural network are different sort of people than they meet at a different school. I'd like them to feel good. All these things. I want them to be in a safe place. I want them to get good education. There's some things that are cool and all these things. So those essence of those things, the feeling that you get from those, like, okay, I feel really good about that. The Porsche, and it's like, okay, well, it's really, I like to escape and leave the world behind. So it goes it couldn't go very fast and we can leave those things behind. Okay, I get that. And before I ever got a Porsche, I got an Audi TT, and a fast one, and it had all those too. And then I got the Porsche, and the Porsche was really cool and significant, and it was a nice car in the parking lot and all those kind of things. But it didn't give me, so it gave me a little more of those sort of feelings. But the essence of it was it didn't go much faster than the Audi TT and didn't handle, it handled a little bit. So, but the essence, I'm glad I got the Audi because I had years of the essence, the feeling of it. And you get to the port or the house on the Mediterranean and you go, well, what is it about that? Well, I love water and, and having a place at the beach would be really cool. And I thought, well, why don't, okay, if those are the things, but if I got something on the Mediterranean and trying to work with, trying just try to work with anybody to get anything fixed or built or repaired in this country, in your own home, let alone at the beach in this country, far away from home. and let alone something in Italy. I don't speak Italian. I speak about these many words of French, and I don't speak Spanish. So I'm thinking, oh my God, that no wonder I don't really want that, because I don't really want that. And also, I can go to 100 different places, a lot of different places on the Mediterranean, and rent a home. And then I can move on
Hmm.
down the road and rent a different home. And I thought, man, that seems a lot more free, to me, than having some place that I always feel obligated to go in France or Italy or that kind of thing. And but I do like spending a lot of time at the beach. So I figured out how to buy a place at the beach in this country, and that's actually where I am right now. I've always wanted to have and this was one that I really found out that I really wanted in life, was like, how can I work where there's a water view? I love seeing water. So out the back door, after I walk by, through it's a 3-bedroom townhouse on the beach. This bedroom is my office. And so I can go out and I can go fishing or paddle boarding or go for a swim or walk for miles on the beach. And it's like, when I walk in here, it's like, oh my God, I'm just so thankful to be. I mean, literally, how many people get to go to their workplace and be incredibly thankful for where it is. And you go, all right, I better hop to it, man. I better demonstrate my gratitude. So the question though was 10x. And so, but I think to get 10x, this is what's different about what I just described in the last few minutes, and the words X. What does that even mean? And it never ends up being X. You typically don't get X. You get what means most to you if you work for what means most to you. And maybe that's not 10, maybe it's 10 times more time away from, you need to take a moment and understand what it is that you want to build, the life experience that you want. It's not, 10x, 10, the number is so arbitrary. It means absolutely nothing, because maybe, it's just so arbitrary and empty. But when you figure out what's meaningful to you, and like, why is it meaningful to you? What the essence is in that? What's the feeling that you want to have? What's more time, like true freedom, spending more time in things that lift your heart, make you feel more alive and awake and alert and excited, and want to have more of that versus X, X what? 10 times more of the shit that you have now, 10 times more of the lack of time you have now. It means absolutely, to me, it means
Hmm.
nothing. And I think when you start looking at it, it still means nothing.
Hmm.
But when you get it figured out, when you go, okay, what's meaningful to me? And it's not this 10x of something out there that all the cool kids have on their vision board. It's not out there. It's in here. It's inside me and it's
Hmm.
inside you. And when we start understanding what that is and really unlocking that, I call that your potential. What's possible when you start unlocking that. The more of that you unlock, the more true freedom you get, and the better you feel, and the more excited you are about being alive and what's next, as opposed to some arbitrary next, whatever that might mean.